Hi, Aries. My name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your July 2015 forecast for the month. Thank you for subscribing and tuning in and sharing and liking these posts and for being so cool. I would like to start off the month with a full moon. We have a full moon on July 1st at 9 degrees of Capricorn. And this is in the area of your career, the 10th house of the career sector. And this brings the awareness and an ending and some kind of closure to this sector. Perhaps some of you Arians are getting ready to retire in the 10th house of retirement or social status. Or perhaps you are making some changes in what it is that you'd like to do for your living. Or it doesn't have to really be the day-to-day job. It could be how you are presenting yourself out into the world, how you want to be seen in the career. Also, the status or title or name change. Your name could be changing at that time for those of you adding on aliases or, changing the name due to a marriage or going back to the maiden name. Pay attention to that around the 1st because we will experience 2 full moons this month. And when you have 2 full moons in one month, the second one, the latter of the 2, is considered a blue moon. This is rare. And the last blue moon we had was August of 2012, August 31st of 2012. And we'll have another full moon on the 31st of July. So the first one is at the top of the month. We have a lot of personal planets retrograding this month. However, Mercury is not one of them. He is now direct, effective last month in Gemini, and he enters Cancer on the 8th of July. Mercury into Cancer. So Cancer is another cardinal sign like you are, Aries. This is your 4th house of home. When Mercury enters the 4th, there could be communications with the maternal, the mother, the 4th house of motherhood and the past, the deep foundation of where you come from is the 4th house. There could be a lot of activity and analyzation regarding the home and the environment, maybe a lot of details on where you are living. Those of you looking for a new residence, Mercury in the 4th will give you a lot of information in that sector, a lot of details. It could be a great time for that review, for the search, for the analysis of the environment. There could be a lot of people communicating, calling, reaching out to you while you are in the home. On the 15th of July, we have our new moon at 23 degrees of Cancer. A lot of Cancer activity in the month of July, as well as Leo activity. But our new moon, this is the awareness. This is your, I'm sorry, not awareness, that's the full moon, but this is your intention. The new moon is where you want to set the new achievements, your new goals in the 4th house of home. Great time for Arians to be searching for an environment or finding the environment they'd like to live in. New moon at 23 degrees of Cancer for you. It could be someplace that you've longed for, maybe a dream location or a place you've really wanted to always travel to. You could find yourself wanting to plant roots, to establish roots in that area that's familiar to you. Maybe something of your past is coming back to you as well. On the 22nd of July, we have our sun transfers out of this 4th house of home where he was with Mercury for a minute and our new moon, but he's entering Leo where he'll meet up with Jupiter, and a day later Mercury will enter that sign as well. So there's just a quick little giddy up with Mercury in that 4th house. You know, the sun in Leo, this is the 5th house of pleasure for you, of fun, of creativity, of your children, of really relaxed energy. The 5th house is romance, it's true love, it's lighthearted energy. So this is a very playful sector, and Jupiter's been there for you since last July, expanding this fifth house of fun. A lot of Arians haven't really wanted to commit or been anchored down to some activities. They want to kind of flit around, and I don't blame you with the fifth house lit up like that. There's tons of communication with the children, if for those of you that have kids, and fun and games, since Jupiter is the most jovial of planets in the fifth house of fun and games. Leo naturally governing the fifth. This is a great summer for Arians. This is just a lot of you doing what you love to do best, and there could be a lot of vacationing, a lot of travel, and expansion of the environment of where you're living. Perhaps one of your vacations turns into your residence. That'd be nice. Now, on the 25th, Venus, who's been stationed in Leo with Mercury and the Sun, a lot of Leo energy right now, but Venus is retrograding just as she approaches the 0-degree mark of Virgo, which extends her stay in Leo through October 8th. And I mentioned this last month. So once Venus reaches the 0-degree mark of Virgo, almost entering your health sector, she decides she wants to kick it a little longer in Leo and begins her retrograde on the 25th, deeper into Leo a few days later until September 6th, then going direct through October 8th in that fifth house as well. So you have such beautification and expansion in this fifth house. For those of you who are starting creative businesses, just the creative endeavors and what you're passionate about, this is beautiful energy. The Sun conjunct Jupiter, conjunct Venus, conjunct Mercury for tending to all of the areas that you need to either set up the business, get it up and running, create your foundation for the business, marketing and getting the word out there, things that you would be passionate about and have fun doing. You want to choose your job and your passion that is effortless for you, that you don't feel bound to, and the fifth house is ensuring that you have this lighthearted approach and jovial energy around what you can be focused on creatively. So that's a beautiful aspect. It's a great July, especially for you, Aries. Now Uranus is stationed with you and has been for 6 years or 5 years, 5.5 years, a while. He usually takes anywhere between 7 and 8 years to make a transit, but he retrogrades, and Uranus does retrograde usually half the year, but this retrograde is at 20 degrees of Aries in your first house, and this might actually instill some of the rebellion in you, Aries, because Uranus is very independent, and he tends to make people want, and when he's retrograde, he wants autonomy and individuality, and that rebellion can come out even further. So it's hard to pin down an Aries as it is, because you have such drive and ambition being ruled by Mars. So when Uranus stationed in your first house is retrograde, you go internal. Maybe you want to be left a little bit alone while you plan. Something's going on in the fifth house of business or creative passions and ideas, creative endeavors. So you might need your time to go inward with Uranus in the first house. And think about how you can break free from any structures of conformity, because that's what Uranus wants you to do. He's really into breaking out of the mold and, just being very advanced. Could have something to do with the internet and your website and marketing. And I'm thinking 11th house right now, and I'm sorry, I'm hearing a lot during this reading, and I'm trying to say things and hear them at the same time. Okay, so Uranus governing Aquarius, that rules the 11th house on the solar wheel, is what I'm trying to say. Has a lot to do with the internet, has a lot to do with publishing and social groups and organizations. So I'm feeling that since Uranus and that energy is in your first house, there's a lot of you that might be getting that off the ground. This kind of working for yourself, starting your own website, being very independent and rebellious and not really into the daily grind. Any structure might feel a little bit uncomfortable for you. Now we have our full moon, our second full moon, our blue moon on the 31st of July at 7 degrees Aquarius in this 11th house of the internet, of groups and clubs and your goals and your wishes and organizations and friendships. So there's an awareness here, and you could be coming to an end. You could start the website on the 1st of July or around the new moon of the 15th and be ending it, summation, on the 31st in that 11th house. There's a lot of ways it can apply to you. I'd love to look at your natal chart and give you a reading if you'd like to book with me. I'm at audreyallison.com, but I will be getting to the cards a little earlier in the forecast. At least I'm trying to. I'm receiving a lot of notes saying that they wish the readings were longer. I do have a 10-minute option on my website for those of you who aren't ready for a full reading and don't want to spend too much. There is a tarot taster for 10 minutes that I can give you at audreyallison.com as well. But let's see what the cards have to say. And also I appreciate your subscribing and liking my Facebook page at Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot on Facebook. The cards for Aries in July, this summer, what is going on? King of Swords, becoming your own authority. This person is very clear thinking, very independent, very autonomous, similar to what Uranus is trying to create in you. The Lady of Fire, the Lady of Staves, a lover of the new, passion, dance, movement. What are you passionate about? What gets your fire burning, Aries? The Queen of Coins, mastering your environment and occupation, property, the receiving of money, and a high status. The Eight of Cups, being creative and possibly being emotionally attached to what you create and earning a living doing so. Some more of your cards are the Lady of Coins, sensuality, beauty, card that's naturally governed by Venus, the card of Taurus, beautification, Venus in Leo for you in the 5th house. Also the Queen of Fire, the lady also came up. And the Eight of Wands, sacrifice, cutting off what you don't need in order to continue with this goal, with what you're passionate about. These cards have everything to do with victory, and you could start out as something very new at the top of the month in your passionate endeavors and end up being the queen of it. From the lady to the queen is a progression in the tarot. You're not going backwards. And then also look at this, the Lady of Coins and the Queen of Coins. So you have, interesting, you have two of the ladies, the initiator, the fire, the taking action to gain your income and your finances. And the goal being mastering the environment and occupation, and almost having a choice between whether you'd like to do this, whether you'd like to become your own authority in the raw, very natural way, or the very refined way with poise. This woman has made a choice. Does she want to present herself as raw and gritty and natural? Or does she want to get made up and be refined and have glamour and more refined material items? Or can she strip down and go very with bare essentials? That's up to each person how they'd like to approach their either work or their lives. But these cards are suggesting making this creative endeavor happen for you. So for those of you who are looking forward to breaking free, this is your month, Aries. Thank you for joining me. My name is Audrey Allison. I'm wishing you a sweet July, and I'll see you next month. Have a sweet day.